Hello friends, it's Jackie Ballheis from Clomp Stampers. Today I'm going to show you how to make some SIP cards. SIP, what the heck's that? SIP stands for stamps, ink, and paper. That really is all that you need to make quick and easy cards. Now in the video I'm going to share lots of basic stamping tips just to show you how, one, you don't need a lot of supplies even to make some really pretty cards, and it should be quick and easy. So we're going to play with some color, we're going to play with stamps, ink, and paper, and I'm going to show you some quick cards that I hope you like. Hang on a second, let's flip the camera down and let's get stamping. So the stamps we're using for our SIP card are Spotlight on Nature and Simply Said. Now these pair together so well because this is such a great greeting set that has all of our occasions on it. You know, especially when you first start stamping or you don't want a lot of supplies, I always say pick a nice picture, something you really like, whatever it is, and then pick a good greeting set that has all occasions in it, because this way we can make any kind of card we may need. And I'm going to show you that in today's video. So that's the S of SIP, stamps. For ink, we're going to make this monochromatic. So we're going to use the Calypso Coral ink pad plus a black. And then our paper are going to be the note cards and envelopes. These are my favorite for quick and easy cards and SIP cards because they come in a package of 20 and you get the note cards plus the envelopes. So it's all ready for you to start stamping. Now I have a little confession to make. I told you we were using Calypso Coral. Well, my original intention was to show you the brand new in colors. And I actually made, let's see, there's 5 colors, 3 of each, so 15 cards that I'm going to show you after I make one using the in colors so you can see how beautiful these new in colors are. But we're using Calypso Coral because my new in color pads I actually bought when I was in Arizona and I forgot to bring them home. So they are in Arizona. I will buy some new ones here soon, but for now I don't have them to stamp with. So I thought, Calypso Coral would be a perfect substitute. Now, because we're going to share lots of beginner type stamping tips here, we're going to go ahead and take the stamp out of here. This is the red rubber one. Now these do come with labels for on the top. Typically, I don't put my labels on. I just never really have. So I like to keep the little sheet that they punch out of in the case. That way, I always know that I have all the stamps in my case when I'm done stamping for the day, because I can just stick it back in there. So we're going to just take the large flower here. We're going to stick it on our stamp just like so. And then for our greeting, let's go ahead and make this one a thinking of you. Now these are the photopolymer, and as you can see, they're the clear ones. When you get these, they're on like a clear window sheet, and I peel them all off and I stick them right into the case. You can see it's printed on the back side there, so you can, again, make sure you always have all of them by sticking them where they belong in there. Now, just a little tip here before we even start stamping. I like to get my stamps perfectly straight on my block. So I start by lining it up on my grid paper, and then I take my block and I press it down there using the grid lines, the side or the bottom or the top, to get it straight on there. That way I know it's nice and straight, so when I go to stamp it, it's straight. So let's set that aside there. That's going to be in our black. And let's go ahead and grab one of our note cards. Now these come pre-scored, so you can see there's a little score line there. The bumpy part always goes towards the inside. And then I still like to use the bone folder on that edge because I like a really nice crisp edge. So there's our card. Now I said this one's going to be really simple. What we're going to do is actually make 3 versions here because I want to show you how you can start out real simple, and then we're going to step it up by adding just a couple of little things to it. So we're going to go ahead and start by just stamping that flower. Ooh, that color is pretty. Calypso Coral. I can't wait to show the ones that the in colors that I made ahead of time for you. Then we're going to go ahead, take that black, and we're going to ink up Thinking of You. And we are going to make sure that's inked up good. There we go. And we're going to go ahead and just stamp it right there. And I always like to make sure I do something on the inside. So we're going to just open it up, put a couple of those flowers down at the bottom corner, and then no naked envelopes. We always want to stamp our envelopes as well. So we're going to just put some flowers on that. Now, as you can see, stamps, ink, and paper. That's all we use for a quick and easy note card. Now, this is great. I send cards like this all the time when I need something really quick. But I want to show you that by just adding a couple layers of cardstock, it's going to really change the look of our card. So once again, we'll take our note card. Let's go ahead and get that crisp edge. And instead of stamping on the front of it here, I just have another piece of basic white that I trimmed down. And this is trimmed down to 3 by 4.5. Now don't worry about the measurements, because over on the blog post that goes with this video, I'll give you the list of all the supplies, all the measurements, and then a list of all the supplies. I already said that. Supplies and measurements, so you can check all of that out. Oh, it's been a long day. So let's go ahead and we are going to stamp on this cutout layer this time instead of directly on the note card. Exact same stamping. Okay, we just did our flower, we did the thinking of you, and then we're gonna just take some adhesive, put a little of the adhesive on there, and we're going to stick this onto a layer of basic black. And oh goodness, I got ink on my hands and everything. So, oh well, we got fingerprints on that one. That's okay. I'm still going to show you how to finish this one off. So we're going to go ahead and stick that down to our note card. And you can see the difference here by just adding that that layer and the fingerprints, but it just really changes the look of that card. And once again, we can go ahead and stamp the inside like so, and there we go. Okay, now we're going to step that card up just a little bit more. So we're going to start out the same. We're going to stamp our flower on there just like we did, but this time I'm not going to stamp that thinking of you on it. So we're going to go ahead and adhere this down. So make sure we don't have any fingerprints on there. Once again, get that straight. There we go. Okay, now we're going to set this layer aside, and I'm going to just take a scrap piece of basic white here, and this is what I'm going to stamp the thinking of you on. And I'm stamping it right down there along the bottom, and then we're going to grab our paper trimmer and trim it. Now, when you see measurements that I share for these cards on the website, you'll notice I don't give you the measurements for the greeting. And that's because I always do the greeting on the edge and trim it down. It's a whole lot easier stamping than trying to pre-cut this to size and then trying to stamp right in the middle of it. So this just makes it a whole lot easier. So measurements really, truly don't even matter. Now, because you all know I love my linen thread, we're going to take our roll and we are going to tie a bow. And I'm going to do the bow a little bit different than normal. And we're going to make it kind of a big bow. Okay, like so. We'll trim these edges. And we're going to take some Scotch tape here. And we need just a really little thin piece. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to tape this onto the back. Let's see. Oh, you know what? That bow might be just a smidgen too big. So let's make it a little bit smaller. And then get the tails going that way. And we're going to just tape it on there. We want the loops going on a couple different ways. The tails go on a couple different ways. Put that Scotch tape down there like so. And then if your tails are too long, we can just, you know, kind of trim them off a little bit. And then we'll bring our piece here and grab our dimensionals. And we're going to stick a couple dimensionals on the back. So now remember, this is our third version of our sip, or we started with a sip. The second one was still a sip because it still was just stamps, ink, and paper. We just added those little bit of couple layers. And then with this one, we're stepping it up just a little bit more by adding some dimensionals. We added the linen thread on there. And then let's add a couple of sequins. Let's see, I'm just going to use my scissors tip here because I don't have my take your pick tool like I usually use. I think we can grab it that way. And we're going to stick three of these little sequins on here. Just adds a little blingy to a little shine, just that little extra touch. Now notice this was not any harder than the first card or even the second card. We just added the layer of the greeting. We added that simple little bow and those sequins. And then when we add it to the front of the card, we'll use dimensionals there as well. And let's see, we will peel those off. We're going to stick that right on there. So by popping that layer up on those dimensionals, that adds just a little bit more to it. And there's our card. And then just like we did with the other ones, make sure you put something on the inside and put something on the envelope. So there's the third version. Now let's bring these back. Ignore the fingerprints. But you can see how super simple, just the note card. We added some layers. That layer of black works with absolutely any color. And then you can step it up one little bit further just by adding the little bit of linen thread, the sequins, popping that black layer up. And look at the beautiful card you have. It's still quick and easy. Now, let me move these and I'm going to show you the 15 other cards I made. So here's the cardstock of the new In Colors. So I wanted to share that because what I concentrated on using here was the ink. So I started out with Pretty in Pink. Now remember at the beginning, I said we can make any occasion. So this one we did birthday. So you can see we have the exact same progression that we had before. I use the In Color dots on here, but everything else is the same. Again, add a layer, add another layer, and add a little bit of embellishments. And look at how pretty that card is. So that's Pretty in Pink. Some of you that have been stamping for a long time may remember Pretty in Pink. You might even have it. This was a color from years and years ago that they brought back, and it's always been one of my favorite light pinks. I'm so excited to have it back. Now, let's look at the next color. This one's Petunia Pop. So this is also Thinking of You. This is like the one I did. There's adding the layer and the black, and you can see how black works perfect with any color. And then we upped it a little bit more with the embellishments and the linen thread. So again, you can see that progression and how easy it is to make cards with not a lot of supplies. Our third color here, let's do them in order, is the Peach Pie. So there is a thank you card along with the layer and then stepping it up. Okay, super simple. But now you've seen we've done birthday, thinking of you, and thank you, all with that one greeting set. Now for the next two, because they were more the green, blue type tones, I switched my colors a little bit. And for the first one, I used the Summer Splash and Celebrate, but I switched to the leaf stamp. This is in that same stamp set, so you could see this could even be a masculine card. So I love that you've got either the flower or the leaf. So we've got Let's Celebrate, and then here's where we added the layers on there. And then here you can see, again, Let's Celebrate is popped up, and our linen thread and our embellishments. And there's that one. And let's look at the fifth one. Now this last one, you can see this is the Shy Shamrock. And once again, we've got all three versions of it. So I hope you've enjoyed this video and that you've picked up some tips or two, just showing you how easy it is to make SIP cards, stamps, ink, and paper. You don't need a lot of supplies. You just need a good stamp set with a good greeting set, and you'll be making cards for any occasion just like that. So thanks for watching. Make sure to go check out the blog post because that will give you the list of all the supplies as well as all the measurements for all the cards I shared with you today. So we'll be stamping again real soon. Have a stamp happy day.